Hey everyone, Diavolo here, and welcome back to my review for chapter 211 of Tokyo Revengers. If you guys are new around here and want to keep up to date with not only Tokyo Revengers reviews, but also One Piece, Jujutsu Kaisen, and One Punch Man, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and also leave a like on the video as well, as it really helps out with the algorithm. But enough of that, let's get into this review. So, chapter 211 is called Law of the Jungle, obviously going for that whole reference with how these guys are kind of surrounded, by beasts, I guess, from this new jungle that is now these new gangs in Tokyo, or these new beasts that are now these new gangs in Tokyo. And we get something different, actually. There's this random TikTok collaboration that's going on, I guess, with Tokyo Revengers at the moment, that's given to us in the first panel here, and it says, let's do a TikTok collaboration. Like the famous Mikey Rally speech parodies, make your own parody video using the correct tag to have a chance of winning a signed volume by Ken Waiku, which is bloody awesome. So if you guys do want more information on that, I'll leave like a image of the QV code or whatever it's called on screen for you guys to scan, so you can be a part of that if you want to. We've started off and Takemichi's pretty much just like, oh shit, this is the Rokuhara Tendai and we are completely surrounded right now. Obviously probably freaking out after he's just got back to this timeline. I don't think it's even been a day yet and he's already surrounded by this new gang. And Draken checks up on Inupi, who's actually, as you can see from the D&D moders uniform, they're both working at the same place. So the future with those two has kind of already started with them taking over, or them starting to work at the motors or the motorcycle place. And Draken's like, no matter how many times you ask, my answer will always be the same. And to reference what Terano South asked him at the end of the last chapter to join his gang. So obviously this has been going on for a while. This guy has been trying to pressure Draken into joining his gang, and I'm imagining probably the other ones have as well. I don't know about Mikey, but as you'll see later in this chapter, yeah, there are other, I guess, influences going on. He's like, I will never join the Rokuhara Tendai. You get to see a size comparison between the leader of the Rokuhara Tendai, Draken, who's always been huge compared to Mikey, who now looks like Mikey compared to Draken. You know what I mean? Like, but then you've got Takemichi, who now all of a sudden looks like Koichi from JoJo's compared to Terano South leader. Like, he's up to his belt height pretty much, or belly button height. You could say he's huge, this guy. So I can imagine Takemichi trying to take punches from this dude and just being absolutely wasted. And you've got Draken saying to the leader of the Tokuhara Tendai that he's already retired, that he said that he doesn't want to be involved in whatever business those guys are up to. And Terano South, obviously pissed off that Draken constantly is denying his requests at joining his gang, punches him over the side of the head and like whacks him to the ground, sends him flying across the ground. Takemichi's literally like, Draken flew off, like what? And you got Inupi like freaking out because Draken's just gone flying. And you get this kind of this monologue from the Terano South leader saying, I'll never forgive you if you decide to retire, Draken. Then why was the Tokyo Margin gang called the strongest? And you've got Draken standing back up, like on one knee, and he's like, you piece of shit. Which is just awesome. And you've still got Terano South like continuing on with his dialogue and rushing into Draken and landing more punches and pretty much just bullying Draken, punching him off the ground, which is insane. Like, this guy has so much power. So I can see now, especially in this next panel where he punches Draken into the ear and then proceeds to hit him in the face down into the ground, and he looks like he knocks Draken out. Like, he goes all wide-eyed, and Takemichi's like, are you kidding me? I mean, Draken has retired and is over with fighting. Isn't this unfair? It's like what he's thinking to himself, Draken is retired. But that's life. Life is actually unfair when it comes down to it at the end of the day, and you've kind of just got to live with specific things. And you get Takemichi thinking, is this man a monster? Obviously the Terano South leader, and which you get this dialogue from him where he explains like the Tokyo Margin gang wanted to make this new era for delinquents, and he's like, we share the same ideals about that, so I came to Tokyo just to defeat the Tokyo Manji gang. To have you retire now is unforgivable. The strongest stays the strongest even after they got eaten and killed. It's a dog eat dog world out here. And then he's like screaming at Draken to work under him, like, work under me or die right here. That's your only choice you've got now, Draken. So Draken's obviously left with this proposal, and the leader of the Tokuhara Tendai, recognizing Takemichi's still there, is like, what do you say, former 1st Division captain? huh? And then Takemichi's like, huh? Me? And he's like, what's with that innocent face? As if you don't got anything to do with this, like, you're next. So Takemichi, just like, what in the world is going on? Surrounded after he's been back within the first day, is now trying to be pressured into joining this new Tokuhara Tandai gang, as well as Draken, which, like, these weren't in the spoilers, so this is huge. This is, like, awesome. A lot of people were saying, in the comments I saw, that what if Draken and Takemichi both join the Terano South and kind of, like, work their way up through and then, you know, beat Mikey that way, kind of, instead of making the Black Dragon. Like, I see that could possibly be happening, especially if they're forced into the group by someone this, like, overbearingly strong. Like, he seems on a whole, like, another level. Like, even with Mikey, yeah, Mikey's brutal, but this guy is just, like, the size of him, I think, makes it seem a bit more impactful compared to just how small Mikey is. And then you see Takemichi start to freak out, and obviously you're thinking this is something to do with the question he's just been asked, but then Terano South actually recognizes someone's here, and a dude just flew over right in front of him. And then you realize you've got this man from Brahman, the number 2, who used to be the Black Dragon's first gen vice president. Now, this could be insane, and he says here, he's like, don't go off and act like you're the big guy. You should take notice of people around you. This guy's probably, if you think about it, like 8 or 9 years older than Takemichi. I'm thinking, like, well, most likely, if he's a first generation vice president, then he had to have been like Takemichi's age. Yeah, I'm assuming 8 or 9 years ago, so he's probably a lot older. He's got the sick, like, Zoro scar going down, like, one side of his face, and this whole idea with him being the Black Dragon's first generation vice president, like, if he turns out to be a good guy, could flip this entire thing of Takemichi joining the Terano South and becoming very good friends with the Kashi Takomi, revive the Black Dragons that way, and then split off from the Rokuhara Tandai, which is somewhat like the Tokyo Manji gang that wants this era of delinquents to be formed. It is getting extremely interesting. Like, this whole new arc has so much to it that I feel like the other ones have, just because everyone's gotten a bit older. They're introducing new gangs, so we're getting new people that we haven't seen before, stuff that we just don't know about, so everyone can speculate and kind of just, you know, throw down a bunch of theories on what they think might happen throughout these next chapters or throughout this final arc. And in the 2 final panels of the chapter, you get pretty much just, you've got like the sick looking Akatsuki group rolling up, which is Brahman, which apparently Brahman, or the Brahman arc, also means Bonten. So this Brahman could actually be the gang that grows into Bonten in the future. If someone knows in the comments, chuck it down below. But that would make so much more sense, and I almost count the Rokuhara Tandai being out of that situation of being in the future, and this, like, it could give more reasoning for Takemichi and them turning it into somewhat like the Black Dragons or something, or rising through the ranks of this to beat Mikey, if it's something like the Manjin gang. I'm not too sure. You know, when we were first introduced to Mikey and Draken, they were both overwhelming forces, so, and this is the first time I've obviously been introduced to Terano South properly. But yeah, you can see like a bunch of the members of the Rokuhara Tandai have been beaten up, and you've got Takemichi like thinking to himself, 2 out of the 3 deities are here, and in an instant the situation became a confrontation among the superiors of Tokyo. Is this the starting of the Great War? So this is pretty cool, and you've got Takemichi obviously freaking out because no prior planning, had no idea this was going to happen, so this is going to be sick. I really can't wait for this arc to just continue and come out weekly and keep up the same kind of pace that it's keeping up with now. Obviously, it was a bit slow for the last few weeks because we were kind of getting back into Tokyo Revengers, obviously, and starting off this new arc. But now it seems to be, you know, picking up quite nicely. But yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comment section below. And if you guys are new around here and want to keep it up to date with not only Tokyo Revengers reviews and spoilers, but also One Piece, Jujutsu Kaisen, and One Punch Man, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and also leave a like on the video if you do enjoy my content, as it really helps out with the algorithm. But anyway, for now, it's been your professional degenerate, Diavolo, and I'll see you all in a bit. Bye.